So let's segue into something. Career success and soft life. Okay, so I come from like a generation that graduated in the late 2000s, right? Credit crunch, recession. Like we were grateful to get a job. And I'm talking to someone with a very privileged education. I studied economics at the London School of Economics.
Yeah, Illuminati for real.
But you know, people from my university were like guaranteed jobs at McKinsey, Golden.
You lot were the best.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Best
don't even interview. Like, boom. Oh, LSE, yeah, come on in. And then everything changed. And suddenly we were just out there fighting with like Harvard grads and Oxford grads and Cambridge grads for like the few jobs that were there. And it meant that when a job landed in my lap, I was just like, I'll come in early. Yeah. I'll stay late. Because in my mind, I was like...
Yes, sir. I got your tea. I got your coffee. Here's an apple, sir.
That was just called hard work back then. That was just called hard work. But, you know, it's a bit like that show Industry, where they're reminded, look around, because a lot of you aren't going to be here at the end of this internship, at the end of this program. But that was sort of the mindset that I entered into. I entered the workplace with a scarcity mindset, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And what I find really interesting is that because of a period of abundance, a lot of people entering the workforce in the last few years have come in with quite an abundant mindset. Like, do you know what? I can do, you know, the contractual hours, which quite frankly, a lot of business leaders and old school people see as the bare minimum. What you see as your contracted hours, or but like, that's the generation that I come from. Because for me, it was like, especially in the startup world, unless you're doing that 9 to 9, which is literally what we would do at Groupon a year before the IPO, finish, you know, start at 9, finish at 9.
Yeah.
You are not serious. And I just find it really interesting because I am not saying that I believe that overwork is correct, but I am saying that it's going to be really hard to make quick progress financially and career-wise without overworking.
Interesting.
Because if you are just doing what you are contractually obligated to do, then the person who's doing more will always be seen as a more valuable asset.
Did you see that TikTok that went viral? It was a podcast. It was a guy and a woman actually on a podcast, and they were reading a letter or an email that somebody sent in, where basically it was it was a millennial who was managing a Gen Z employee, and they read a scenario where they said, I told my Gen Z employee we have a morning meeting at 8 a.m. And they told me, I can't make it because like I've got like my workout. Sorry. Yeah. And then the two hosts who are reading,
Sorry.
The two hosts who are reading the email were like, oh, I'm furious, I'm fuming, I'm shaking, blah 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 blah, and they got absolutely destroyed on TikTok for basically like defending the millennial manager for being annoyed at that Gen Z employee for coming in.
Come for me.
But listen, I think.
Because, like, let's face it.
No, but come on. I would never ask anybody to come in. Actually, would I? I don't think I wouldn't.
This is the thing. I don't want to lie. I don't want people to look at my LinkedIn profile and go, wow, Abadesi worked at all these companies. Abadesi got offered all these jobs.
Yeah, it was easy.
Abadesi built a 7-figure company. Oh, guys, you know how I did it? I did my 2-hour workout from 8 to 10. Then I, like, did 2 or 3 calls. Then I went for a hike. Then I had a matcha latte. No, I earned the privilege of a soft life because I had no life for my 20s.
Interesting.
And I think it's like, if there's anyone out there tell you, let me show you how to live a soft life and become a millionaire, they're lying.
That is true. Don't get it twisted. But I don't believe working from 9 till 6 is soft life. Because to me, if you are actually working hard during that time period and very productive, that is more than enough time to get shit done, from my opinion. The times where I've worked longer than that are when I was like, for example, at my first startup job, working next to the CTO, I'm learning to code. Yeah. I was passionate. I was like, because I knew that every bit of information I got was making me better and stronger and more powerful as an engineer that I was going to use for my career. The other times I worked longer hours when I'm building my own company. Yeah. Now, am I going to tell though somebody who's basically a junior marketing person at a certain company that you need to be working from 9 till 9 or 8 till 9? I don't think that's necessary. Just be productive with the time that you've got, in my personal opinion. Yeah.
But you're not a venture-backed company.
I'm not a venture-backed company, so that's the point I'm making. But not everyone, not even at my company. I'm saying not everyone is in a company where it's not like Groupon. Because Groupon, for example, you were incentivized, you had equity, and they were telling you, we're growing. And if we IPO, everyone's getting rich. Yeah. Not everyone's in a company like that. A lot of people are in a middle tier company that's not growing.
Absolutely.
One, they have no profit incentive. Yeah. They have no ownership. Yeah. Basically, they've just got a normal regular 9 to 5, and they're being told to work like they're an owner. Come on, you can't expect people to do that.
100%, and I wouldn't. But this is what I'm saying. Don't join a company that expects you to have an owner mindset and say you want the soft life.
I agree. Yeah. Figure it out, basically.
And also, like, if you want to be a really successful entrepreneur, you have to be realistic about what you can achieve if you're only going to work 9 to 6. Tell me that you only work 9 to 6 in the first year.
No, that's not
the case.